Welcome back to another edition of Chris the Caravan Man. Today we're talking toilets. So, in this edition of Chris the Caravan Man, as I say, we're talking about toilets. Going to take you through a brief outline of how they work, what not to do, what to do, how to care for it during the winter, and basically how to keep it in generally good working order. So, let's start with a close-up. So, this is a Thetford toilet, which is found commonly in most caravans nowadays. It was known as a pedestal toilet, mainly because this bit here will move around, obviously for comfort. It is a self-contained toilet, so basically what it means is it is a standalone unit with the system at the back. So basically your water is contained within here, which is filled up from the outside. On top of here you have the flush button. So basically what it does, that draws water up out of the tank and feeds it down into the bowl, swirls it round, flushes away any waste. They are quite the same. There are different makes of toilet. I mean, Dometic do one as well, which is very good. There's another version of this toilet where it doesn't take water from a tank in the back of it. So basically it doesn't take water from the cistern here. It takes water from the main water that you drink. So basically it's another feed in. Just cuts down on weight and space if you're a bit confined for space. So that's that bit. Very easy to maintain. Take you outside and show you the other end of things. So the outside access to the toilets is quite straightforward and simple. Basically find where your toilet is inside the caravan, which is obviously quite apparent. Our one is at the back in the corner. So if I walk down the back to the corner of the caravan here and I spin you around, right, there is the outside service points for the toilet. So right on the top there, as I was saying, that's the one that you use for filling your flush water up. So very straightforward. Open up, there you go, water goes in there. Now you can do one of two ways you can do this for filling up, obviously, because it's not going to be fresh plain water. So whilst we're on the subject of fluids and chemicals used in your toilet, there are an immense amount of different versions and varieties. They basically do the same job. Some are a little better than the others, but basically they are a chemical which helps you degrade waste products in the tank at the bottom of the toilet. Right, you can have separate units as well. So basically you can have a pink fluid for the top, you can have a blue fluid for the bottom. In between, between a pair of them, they will work to degrade your waste products. You can have an all-in-one, which basically one fluid does top and bottom, which is all very good. You can get eco-friendly stuff as well. So if you go to a conservation area and they insist on an eco-friendly chemical to destroy waste products, then you've got the option there as well. Now, personally, we use two separate. So basically we use a pink one for the top, which is an Elson double rinse. Like I've said before in many videos, I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is just the stuff that I use. It's very good, does the job. Basically this goes in the top, top from the flush tank. People are always under the misapprehension that the more you put in, the cleaner it will be. It is not the case. With toilet flush fluids, more isn't always best. Read the instructions, do as it says on the outside of the product. Reason being is it's the same strength. If you put a little bit in, if you put loads in, it's still going to be the same strength. There's no difference in in how it works. Oh, put it down there. I always say to people, think of it being the same colour as mouthwash. So basically you can see pink in it. It's not solid pink, it's see-through pink. If you live by that rule, it'll be fine. Putting too much in as well will also damage your toilet pump, because once the chemicals rest at the bottom, what your toilet pump will try and do is try and suck up gel, and they don't like that. Had many a job doing unblocking toilet pumps, doing that or replacing them if they get that bad. Right, that's the flush. The bottom part of the toilet where all the waste products end up, different fluid. It is a blue one. Again, I use Elson, not endorsed. That's just the stuff I use, stuff I find works very, very well. Again, I'll show you in a minute how to fill it up. You open up or withdraw the cassette from the bottom of the toilet there, pull it out. You've gone and emptied it, sorted it out, rinsed it out, lovely. You come back, you put one capful in, that's all you do. Then the first bit of fluid that goes in there afterwards, maybe flush or wee-wee, will go in, and that will start the process working, which is all very good. Now, health and safety, obviously, at all times. You don't really want to be putting your hands around toilets without help. So, whenever you go to empty the toilets, it's obviously quite easy. Wear gloves. For obvious reasons, bacteria and stuff like that. As well as that, there also is, obviously, if people go there, use gloves to the emptying point, they've obviously touched the tap, they've touched the hose which you flush the toilet out with, they've had gloves on. Do you really want to be touching that with bare hands? I don't. So it's worth going to a local car shop, getting some latex gloves, put them in the locker somewhere so they're always to hand. You go there, do your toilet, empty your toilet, prep it, gloves, bin, done. Right, let's get the cassette and show you how it all works. Right, as I mentioned earlier, that there is the flap for filling the cistern up for your flush fluid. Right, let's go down to the bottom here. Right, these cassettes are, as near as damn it, all the same. To withdraw this, it's very easy. You've got to make sure that inside the toilet, your flap, which opens the rubber seal up, is shut, or else the cassette won't come out. Lift and pull. So there you go. There's your cassette. All done. Now, whilst we're here, winterisation is very, very easy to do. Obviously, you clean out the cassette, make sure it's okay, dry it out as much as you can, especially if you store your caravan outside. But most people forget that you've got a tank of water up here. So, over winter time, if you store your caravan outside, or I know I'm in a barn here, but sometimes what happens is, obviously it does drop below freezing. Sometimes things do frost up. Now, you have to get rid of the water in the cistern. Now, you can do it by just keeping your finger on the button, pumping it out, but there's always going to be a little bit left in it. So if you've got one of these toilets, under here, he says, trying to get it out. Where's that gone? Oh, I see, that way round. Right, there we go. It's gone. There it is. There it is. Right, that is actually a drain point for the flush fluid, so that will drain out everything that's inside the toilet, and it's the lowest point of the cistern as well. So I'll put my hand up here, I can actually feel that that's the bottom of the tank, and that is the lowest point in the toilet. So that's a little tip, just don't forget to drain it over winter. That literally just flip back up there like that. Right, so this is a toilet cassette, quite a standard one. They're all roughly the same, there's not really much difference in them, but I'm just going to take you through what there is. Right, so this here is the emptying tube. You unscrew the end here, over your waste disposal point, unscrew that, and then obviously empty it out forthwith. To get a better flow, what I usually do is I'll take off this flap here. It's basically the flap that protects you from, protects the rubber seal while you're transporting it to the waste disposal point. I'll open up the flap like that. As you can see, that flap's now open. Undo that, and that allows it to come out quite easily. When you're at your emptying point, these things here don't keep anywhere near the edge of the waste deposit area, because if these fall down the cars, fall down the hole, you've lost those completely. Right, taking you round the around the cassette here. Obviously that's folded back into place. The rubber seal which keeps everything away. So when you go into your toilet, you turn the flap at the top of the front of the toilet to open the waste up. Basically, that's what that does. That opens up that little flap. They do wear. Sometimes the mechanisms inside here do go, but as you can see, this is here, the different colour to everything else, which means you can actually undo this by flipping it around. I don't know if I can do it here. No, I can't. You have to do a big thing. So basically on the floor, you can actually turn this and replace this as a whole unit. Inside, I don't know if you can see it if I turn it around that way. Can you see that in there? No, I can't see it. No, never mind. Inside there you've got a little float which acts as an arc around here. So when you look in your toilet aperture back on the Caravan, you'll notice there's a sensor somewhere around this corner when you put it in. Basically that's the float. Goes up and down, tells you how full this is. So that float basically makes an electronic switch which turns a light on the top of the top panel of the toilet flush mechanism. It tells you when it's full or not. There are other couple of things on here as well. People often ask what this button is here for. You can push it in, its springs, you can push it around everything. Well, that basically is a vent. As waste products degrade, sometimes in hot weather they do produce a bit of pressure. So basically that there, almost like a pressure release valve. I know people don't usually like to think about their toilets, but these are things that, what they are. And this being a later model, as you can see, it's got a set of wheels in the back, which means you can pull this handle out and you can take it, drag it to the nearest receptacle and empty it. Right, as I was saying, with filling it back up, very easy. So slide your flap forward, open it up. Down here is my Elson fluid. So what we usually do is get the cap, bit in there, a bit more in there, fill that up, tip her in, that goes back on there, and that is basically it. Shut your flap, reposition that. What more do you need to do? So you've done your emptying of the toilet, you've flushed it out, rinsed it with a hose, put in your blue Elson, and you're done. So basically now you're going to put it back into the in the aperture. Now there's two things you've got to watch out for when you do this. First of all, you've got to make sure that on top of your toilet, this mechanism is facing the back of the toilet. So basically if it's like that, it ain't going to go in, because if you look up here, right at the back there, if I about there, that's the mechanism from the toilet from inside the Caravan. So if you try and put that in there, what that's going to do is just bounce off it, and if you go too mad, it will break. So make sure that you do that. It's in there. So make sure there's nothing in the way. I mean, there is a little flap here. I don't know what that flap's for. I think it's probably for storing stuff in, but to be honest, I don't think you can really store much in there. It's not the most generous spaces. Put that back in. Make sure there's nothing in the way. Get hold of your cassette toilet, and when it goes in, it'll go in properly. You'll hear it go in with a click. Nope, no click on that one, but that's in. So it's not going to coming out. That's perfectly fitted in there. Very snug. Very nice. Still got my gloves on. Shut the door, and we're done. So that's basically how you maintain your toilet, empty your toilet, and basically just keep it in tip-top condition. Like I say, important things is winter time, make sure you take the flush fluid out. Like I say, you can get most of it out by pressing the button, opening the flap up, pressing the button, running the motor until you hear the motor would speed up because it's not pumping anything. Stop there, come outside, and what you can do, you can pull your cassette out halfway, slide the top, undo the rubber so you can see inside the toilet, and then just put that drain hose like I showed you earlier straight into the hole. That drains out, keeps everything nice and tidy. Alternatively, if you've got a bottle put that in there, you know, a little Coke bottle, or fizzy drinks bottle I should say, not advertising, straight into there, and it's all done. Yeah, only a short video, but I thought it's still short but still important. So I hope that's helped everyone, dispelled some myths as it were about toilets. So thank you for watching, click like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon with some more caravan related stuff. Bye for now.